Hey, chicas. Welcome to Red Lips Real Talk Podcast. I'm Jasmine.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Monica.
I'm Maritza.
And I'm Davies with a Y. Get ready. Somos Latinas from South Florida.
Bringing you real talk
On life, love, and everything in between.
Time to get real. Dale.
What's up, ladies? How's everybody doing?
Hey.
Wow. Hello.
I missed you girls so much.
I know.
Today's going to be a great day. I feel it.
Yes.
But it's also a very sad day because Davies is not here.
Yeah.
Davies is sick.
Oh, no.
Pobrecita.
We missed you.
She has the flu, right?
Yeah.
Well, I did promise Davies a little song.
Do your thing.
I'm going to do it. This is for you, Deb. Como la flor. Tanto amor, me dices tú, se marchitó, me marchó y no sé por qué, pero I miss Davies. We love you. We miss you. And speedy recovery, our friend.
Yes.
But it's also a great day because today we have a special guest.
Yes.
An exciting guest. A guest that I do consider a very good friend and that I value very much, but I also respect. And we'll get into that. But for now, my beautiful friend and our friend, Sabrina Wensloff.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having me here, girls.
Absolutely.
I was dying to come.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think about us?
I
Tell
love
us.
it. I love all your friends, including you.
Well, let's get into that. So Sabrina and I have been friends for many, many years. And coincidentally, she is neighbors with Maritza. You live, maybe 2 blocks away?
5 minutes away.
Probably
literally.
5. Yeah. And one day they see each other all the time at Publix, right, Maritza?
Yes, we run into each other at Publix. She buys a lot of eggs.
And then they take pictures together. They send them to me, and I get very, very jealous. And that's one of my vision boards for the future, to embrace my friends becoming friends with my friends.
That's life.
And not getting jealous.
And no heart is big. Everybody fits in.
Everybody fits in.
Just a few people.
But we don't.
Not everybody
talk
gets
about
in.
them.
Don't start, Sabrina. This is a very inspirational show.
Nice.
So you just came from Brazil. How was your trip?
It was awesome. Too long, but fun. Taking care of seeing my family, my mom. And, everybody thinks that in Brazil, you just have fun. It's just party. No, I have to go to the doctors with my mom. My brothers are there all the time. So when I'm in Brazil, I'm taking care of her. It's my time. So I have to rest when I come home. But I do party too.
No, well, yeah. I've been to your parties. They're pretty infamous.
Yeah.
So, Sabrina, if you don't mind taking it back a little, because our guests are excited to hear you, but they don't know you like I know you. And some of my colleagues here also want to get to know you as well, my friends. So if you don't mind, this may be a very personal question, but what was it that made you want to come to the United States, having a significant amount of your family members still in Brazil?
I had just graduated from college in Brazil. I studied tourism and hospitality. So I decided to come for 6 months, just learn a second language, just learn English. I had a boyfriend in Brazil that my dad hated. So when I said, I'm moving to the U.S., can I move to the U.S. to study? My dad said, you want to go tomorrow? So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he really didn't like him.
No.
How old were you?
I was 22.
So you were young.
22.
Okay.
And then 10 days that I was here, I met my ex-husband. And
really?
Those 6 months, yeah. I broke up with my boyfriend on the phone. He came to the U.S., but I didn't open the door.
It could have been on a Post-it.
Well, there was no such a thing back in the day.
Don't talk about our age.
Right. I mean, 5 years ago. So those 6 months became 25 years. It's going to be 26 years this year. I have spent more time here in the U.S. than in Brazil.
That's really brave.
Life.
That's really brave, though, to have to make that change for being 22 years old and making that decision.
Yeah, but when I came here, I had an aunt that was living here and a friend of mine from high school. And I love the freedom that you can come and go without your mom asking, where you going, who you going with, what time you're going to be home. So that weighted in too.
Yeah. You like the freedom.
I love the freedom.
Yeah, I could see that because this freedom at that age is the best.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, so
Just have to know how to use it. So
I mean, I know
use it wise.
I know that you're very close to your mom and your brothers, and you know, you do travel back and forth a lot, but you were here for a very, very long time without your true family unit. And how do you think that impacted you?
Well, it's very hard. It's very hard. And back in the day, nowadays you have the groups on your phone, so you don't feel as much. You don't feel the touch, but you talk to your family every day. When I came here, we had to buy calling cards,
Right.
with minutes. So you had like a day of the week to call your family. It was hard. So, but over the time, things were getting better. I started going to Brazil regularly. My mom used to come here. Like, my mom doesn't come anymore. She's got Alzheimer's, and she doesn't travel here anymore.
Sorry to hear that.
My mom would come and stay here for like 4 months, 3 months.
And that must have been fun for her when she came.
Well, I used to live in Miramar, and my mom, without speaking English, she used to come to my house, and when she was bored, she got the times for the buses. She would go from Miramar here all the way to downtown Miami.
Whoa.
She would take different buses, like change buses, and show up at downtown Miami. We didn't have cell phones. She would call me from a payphone. Hey, I arrived here.
Right at that
I'll let you
time.
know when I'm coming back.
There's something about that generation of our parents that they're like, no, like, we're going to figure it out.
Right.
You know, the resilience and like, I don't know the language. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to get there.
Yeah. There's no
It's
cell phone.
inspirational.
My mom was always like that.
Okay.
You know, like, my mom is 70. No, she's going to be 80 this year, but she's post-graduated. She finished college. She got her master's. She got everything in the time that the women of her generation barely finished high school.
Well, that's why you are how you
She
are.
was very independent.
That explains why you're a guest on our show. Because that is, well, no, it's the truth. I mean, I know we're friends personally, but that's genuinely why I wanted to have you as a guest, because that's who you are. And I believe that sometimes your children are reflections of their parents. And now that you said that, which I didn't know, it explains how you have done what you've done.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. So with that said, you know, when you started working we started working together.
Yeah.
Right. And you always had kind of like, I always felt
Those times were fun.
oh my God, they were way too much, but we can't talk about that.
But yeah, those times were fun.
They were
How long were
fun.
you guys working together?
Not too long, maybe 4
years,
Yeah. But I always felt like you were meant for, you know, managerial or to spearhead projects. And you always worked in like customer service, and you were great at it.
When we start working together, my husband at the time, he had to travel all the time. Remember, like, Brian was all over the place. He would go to China. And I had 2 little kids living here, working in Kendall and living here in Miramar. So I had to pass up like opportunities to promotions because he wasn't out of town. So when we used to work together, I had to pass up on promotions and stuff like that. Couldn't stay out at work because my husband at the time, he was always out of the country.
Right.
So who was going to pick up the kids from the pre-K and everything? But I had to work, otherwise I would go crazy. Like, there was a time that I hired a nanny. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
I had a nanny. This wonderful lady that used to live. My salary was just to pay the nanny so I could go to work. But at least I would go and talk to people and see people. But the few times that I said, you know what, they offer me this position. And he would say, okay, do you want me to stop working? So I stay home and take care of the kids. But I had to work those times.
I can understand that now because that's what I'm going through now, and I miss it. I value what I do, but I miss learning new things and being around people, and it's an adjustment. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm very outgoing. I like to be surrounded by people and laughing, and you know, and I was good at work, but I couldn't like get my career where I wanted to. That happened later on in my life.
Yeah.
When we went to Brazil in 2011 because he was transferred to Brazil, even though he was a gringo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
he
interesting.
he was transferred to Brazil. I didn't want to go to Brazil. I wanted to
Look at
stay
that.
here. And he said, no, you go to São Paulo and you keep coming back and forth.
Right.
And he said, no. Then go to your hometown, which is like 3 hours from São Paulo.
Okay.
Flying. I took all my furniture. I put in a container and I sent it to Brazil.
Wow.
Everything. And stayed 2 years in Brazil. We separated everything. And after 2 years that I was in Brazil, I came to him and I said, I'm going back to the U.S. with kids. This is not for me anymore.
Oh, wow.
He stayed.
Wow.
He stayed in Brazil and I came back.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old were your kids then?
That was in 2014 when I came back.
Okay.
So Kyle was 12 and Gabriel was 8.
Okay.
12 and 8. So I came alone.
Yeah.
And I start from scratch, from zero.
Because now it's just you and the kids.
Just me and the kids.
And Sabrina, was that when you were officially starting to get separated from Brian?
Yeah.
Okay.
We separated in 2013.
Wow.
So I stayed until like April of 2014.
And I've
I
always
came back.
wanted to ask you this question, but I never asked you because I didn't want to overstep my boundaries. And
You have no boundaries with me.
I
You
know,
can ask
but
whatever you want.
I really do respect people's privacy. But one of the questions I always wanted to ask you, and it may seem like a stupid question, but genuinely, how did that make you feel? Did you feel like a mess about it, or did you feel like I'm okay with it? I'm going to start my life over. I'm curious.
I was afraid, but I felt that over there, I know it's stupid. People that are going to hear in Brazil, they might say, but I felt in a strange place over there. When I came here, I felt more at home.
Wow.
Okay.
Because my adult life was here.
Right.
Got it.
When we went to Brazil, I was 13 years here. I didn't know how to pay a bill in Brazil. I didn't know how to do anything because I came here as a kid, 22. A 22 Brazilian kid is not like a 22 American kid. We don't even make our beds.
Well, listen, like that makes me think about even my dad. My dad came here when he was 26. He's from Colombia, but he came here when he was 26.
Yeah.
And he came alone. He met my mom here. He made and created a family here, worked here. So then for him to retire back in Colombia, what was a transition, and he was born.
Imagine.
So I get it. I get it.
It is in the way that, because I'm not from a big city in Brazil. I'm not from São Paulo. Everybody comes to me and say, oh, you're from Brazil? Yeah. Where? I said, no, Rio and São Paulo, because people go, oh, Rio, São Paulo? No, not Rio, São Paulo, Natal.
Yeah.
So when you came back from that major change, then did you go back to going to Bupa, or that was a closed chapter?
No.
Where did you go from there?
Because at this time, when I left, Bupa stopped selling in Brazil. I don't know if you know that.
No, I know.
Bupa had stopped selling the products in Brazil. So Bupa was not, everybody that was at Bupa was in different companies and everything.
Yeah.
But my ex-husband, he was, when I came with the kids, we had already made a settlement. We haven't been divorced officially, but we made a settlement, and he said, okay, and that was very nice. For 6 months, I'm going to pay you X amount of money, alimony plus child support, so you can get back on your feet. So I could rent a place and everything. I wasn't like in a hurry to start working.
It wasn't a nasty separation.
No. No.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Okay. It's all right.
I mean, it wasn't like horrible, but the first 2 years is very hard. So
Understandable.
So that we did, but I was here alone. There was no like, okay, this weekend the kids go to the father's house. No, it was me 100%. So it wasn't any favor.
Yeah.
But a lot of fathers, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Especially living in another country, they would say, let her do her own thing. It was easier for him to do this, but because we see it all the time. Everybody has a case.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my case, thank God. So I wasn't like in a hurry to start working or anything. And I could get the kids in school, make sure they were okay to then.
I mean, I remember those times you were in the thick of it. And I remember I hope I'm not overstepping again, but I remember there were times when we worked together that you would just like go to the bathroom and just be like, oh my God, I'm going through it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's not
But you
easy.
persevered.
It's not easy. Thank God my kids are amazing. But the little one was always a handful because he took after me. So he's all over the place, and I was the only one, but I was very lucky. I was always surrounded by good people. You know, all my good friends were here.
Yeah.
When I came back, my plan was to stay 4 months without work, just living for the kids, you know, doing my house, finishing.
Kind of like reestablishing yourself now, because now life is different.
Yeah.
And allow yourself that space.
Yeah. Getting to choose what I was going to do
Right.
was when I got a phone call from Sandra, I think.
May she rest in peace.
Yeah. She passed away this last year.
Is that a friend of yours?
I knew her. We were not friends, but I respected her a lot. She was a wonderful manager, uplifting woman.
Yeah.
But Sabrina was very close to her.
Yeah, she was an amazing person.
So sorry to hear that.
Amazing. And she was my boss at Bupa. She came from Bolivia to be like the big boss at Bupa.
Okay.
And we became friends. When I arrived, she gave me a call out of the blue, and she goes, hey, I heard that you're back here in the U.S. And I said, yeah, I just got here 2 weeks ago. And she goes, well, I just started working for this company, and I don't know what I'm going to do because I started yesterday. Do you want to come here tomorrow to talk to me? And I was like, yeah, I'll go. So I went over there, talked to her, and she said, look, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I mean, it was only 5 people in the company. But I know who I want with me. I want you with me. And I said, well, Sandra, that's awesome, but I don't want to start working now. I want to wait a little bit, you know, settle the kids and everything. And she goes, no, I'll wait. I'll wait a month.
That's amazing.
You do your thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she asked me, how much you want to make? And I was like, oh my God, 2 years without working. I didn't even remember how much I did in Bupa. And I said the first number that came to my head. I honestly don't remember how much I said. I said 30,000. You know, year, not a day.
That would be nice.
I said, I think it's at 30,000. She said, okay, I'll call you back. And that was a Friday. She called me on Monday. She said, look, I have good news. Just to confirm, we're going to wait a month. And I have a better news that you asked me for way too little. You're going to start with 60. Is that okay?
Wow.
You're like, I'm not going to.
That's why she's an amazing woman, because she didn't take advantage of you.
Exactly.
And let me just say,
she knows your value.
Exactly. And the fact that she let you, like you were like saying, no, I need a little more time to adjust and my children. And she was willing to wait. It's for a reason.
Because she knows what you were going to bring to the table. She knows who you are.
And I started
And that's
that
about
day.
knowing your worth.
Right, exactly.
And I started that day. She started paying for my salary before I signed the papers and everything. And she was like, of course, she would send me something once in a while. Hey, I send you something. Can you read? Is that good Portuguese? Because she didn't speak Portuguese. And there was, at the time, no, there was me and another girl, but she always sent stuff to me to review too. You know, another pair of eyes on the documents and everything. But never had to go. A month came, and I started going to the office. And it was amazing. I stayed over there for 8 years almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then were you promoted? Did you move up the
Yes.
ladder? How did that, like, how was your time there?
Well, within, I believe, 2 years or less than 2 years that I was there, she left the company. And I was employee number 7 on the company.
Okay.
And she left the company. My boss at the time started looking for someone to replace her. And there was one of her friends. Well, before she left the company, I had already been promoted. She was the VP and I was the manager.
Okay.
And, you know, I had been promoted and everything. My boss started looking for someone, and a friend of mine that used to work, Dr. Patricia.
Yeah. Oh, I love her. She
She said to him, why are you looking outside? You have somebody here. You have Sabrina.
Yeah.
She's great, you know?
And that's what I loved about certain people, not to cut you off at Bupa. That
Yeah.
they were, and that's what I loved about where we work. I feel like that was my university. I feel like those were my 4 years of college.
I always say that.
I really felt like that job, it had its good and its bad, but I really felt like I had so much internal growth there, not only in my career, but internally, and some strong friendships that I made. But there were very good people that were about supporting other women. And
that's what I'm gathering. And I'm not even there. And it looks like it's more like a woman helping out another woman.
Yes.
It was really, I feel very vital. Privileged that I got to work in an environment like that. And there were moments that were like catty, like, you know, it is what it is. Of course. But there were a lot of amazing people there. Doctora Patricia definitely is one of them.
Bupa was like, I always say when people go like, oh, because of Bupa, was like, Bupa was amazing. I know everything that I know now because I worked over there. Mm-hmm. And when I went to GBG, which when when Bupa stopped selling in Brazil, another company came called Global Benefits Group. And he said, my boss at the time, Ricardo, he went to this company and he said, look, we have this whole portfolio here that this company has, but we cannot bring new people. Let's do migration. Let's bring all the clients from Bupa to this company.
So, Sabrina, I don't mean to interrupt you, but our listeners may not even know what you're talking about. So let's talk about what type of industry you're in.
Yeah, well, we worked in the IPMI type of company, is International Private Medical Insurance. Mm-hmm. So it's international health insurance for people that live in Latin America. Okay. You live in Colombia. So the biggest markets are Mexico, Brazil, and Venezuela. Well, at the time. And people that live in Brazil, that lives in Mexico, Colombia, and they have the international health insurance. It's not travel insurance. It's international. Everybody thinks travel. It's not travel, although they had travel. But it's the type of insurance that you use in your country. Let's say you live in Mexico and you go to, what is the name of the biggest hospital in Mexico that everybody knows, Andes. You go to Andes, or you go to... You can get treatment in your country, whatever hospital and stuff. But if you need something more specialized, you can choose to have country anywhere in the world. Yeah. You can come to the U.S.
And it was expensive. I remember because when we used to look at the policies, I'd be like, how much do they pay for this? So
it was for people with a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's... electively, if you say, God forbid, you found a cancer and you say, no, you know what? I want to get treatment at the MD Anderson in Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the best oncologic hospital of the world. You go to Texas, you come to Miami to do your treatments. Now, you get sick in Miami and then you choose to travel anywhere in the world and get your treatment.
That's why I feel like the 4 years that I was there, it was, we were trained to deal with high caliber clients. Yeah. We had to learn how to write letters in Spanish when claims were denied or accepted or whatever. And we had to learn how to write professionally in Spanish. It was really like going to school. Right. And they really gave us a big up. That's why when people talk bad about it, I'm like, yeah, I understand. But they really did help our careers.
No, it did. It did. You learn how to navigate in this world, in this different world. You learn a lot of stuff. You know how to be formal. You learn your basic professional etiquette. How do you say etiquette?
Yeah, right. Etiquette.
So
now the clients from Bupa were transferred now to this new company
new company, yes.
Okay, took over.
When I started at the new company, we only worked with Brazil.
Okay.
So they started with Brazil because Brazil was one of the biggest markets in Bupa.
Was the Brazil market bigger than the Mexico market? Because Mexico was huge too.
Not at Bupa.
Okay.
But in GBG it was.
Okay.
So, because they started with Brazil and then Mexico came and became just as big.
Okay.
So, the rest of at GBG, I learned a lot with Sandra too, the one that hired me, because I was still very immature. If I got mad at somebody, I would
I remember.
And she would talk to me over and over about, to become, how they say, intelligence,
emotional intelligence.
intelligence.
But that's called growth.
Yeah.
All of us go through that,
Yeah.
you know?
But, I was very impulsive. I still am because I don't lose my... But now
I think that's
know.
the Latin American, the Latin thing.
Yeah.
We all have it in us.
But
I think so.
The Latina comes out.
Yeah.
And we're from South Florida.
Exactly. I feel like I am from South Florida too.
Yeah.
If you ask me, depending where I am, I can say that I'm a Nica, I'm Mexican, I'm Venezuelan.
Do you remember when my mom
Yeah.
thought
The
you were
melting pot.
Nicaragüense?
Or melting pot.
She was like, I'm Nica. She would tell my mom that. My mom was like, I tu amiga Sabrina la Nicaragüense. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Mom? But
yeah, so I stayed over there. So I was promoted. When I left, I was the director of customer service and claims at GBG.
So what do you mean by you left?
The company had already 150 employees when I left.
Oh, okay. So it grew.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the company got sold in 2017 to an investment fund.
Okay.
When the company, before this happening, the company belonged to two older guys from California.
Okay.
Very, very, very nice people. Whatever, with a vision, knowing how to treat people. And the company, we didn't have the policy of the closed doors. Anybody can come walk in my office, or my boss is off. My boss was always with the door open.
Okay.
And we respect everybody. Everybody was the same, even though we have a lot of more responsibilities and everything. We learn how to treat people with respect, and that's what we see in the workplace.
Okay.
So when the fund took over, the company was sold, the fund took over, it was money.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an acquisition company that came in.
Exactly. You have to give results.
But at this point, how many years had you already dedicated to this industry at this point? Do you recall?
Yeah. The company got sold at the end. It was beginning of 2018. I started in 2014.
Okay.
I was already, maybe it was 19.
Okay.
And, the company, I used to work all over the world. And in the beginning,
So you traveled a lot.
A lot.
Okay.
A lot. And
How do you think the traveling impacted you as a mom with your boys?
it was very hard. It was very hard, to the point that some years I would come and beg my boss. Was like, I don't want to travel.
It
Because
sounds so glamorous.
yeah,
it does.
but nobody sees the backstage.
Do you care to elaborate on some of the things that you went
because especially in this industry, when as a company, as an insurance company, we don't deal, since we deal with people with a lot of money, I can count on my hand the times that I actually talk to insured. We usually talk to the brokers.
Right.
And since the people are very demanding, they always want more and more from you. And it was, at the end, it was very hard after like 5 years, kind of drains you a little bit, because it's a lot of, your back is almost against the wall. You have to do it, otherwise they pull the business from the company. So a lot of times you have to go and do exceptions and
do what you need to do.
Do what you need to do to keep the clients and everything. And when they're very demanding, it's like you do it or you do it.
So when did you know, like, okay, this is as far as I'm going to go?
I never knew, because when I decided that, okay, we're not doing this, then somebody above me would say, hey, we have to approve this thing otherwise. And I was like, at the end, I stayed 8 years, but I was very stressed.
Yeah.
Very, very stressed.
Do you think that
working weekends, long nights, and my phone didn't stop, and I had to answer.
So how did you, from there in the workplace, then transition to then deciding, I think I want to transition into creating my own business? How did that happen?
Well, that happened because when the company was bought in 2017, it was 2018. Things start changing, with numbers. Then COVID hit.
I was putting that
COVID.
together. I was like, we're getting closer to COVID.
Yeah.
Because one investment companies usually buy companies like that.
Acquisition companies. They start to acquire multiple companies, start growing because the whole idea is for that big company then to sell the whole
with no experience on the area.
Right.
First, they put the people that they trust. And when you
On
have
the
a
forefront.
hire, yes, when you're high, and it's very hard for you to stay. And when COVID hit, I have a very good friend. He used to be the president of GBG, and he's still my friend. He said that he was in meetings where they had a list of salaries, and they said
They're doing cutbacks.
we're spending a lot of money in salaries. They would look at the numbers and say, who's this? Who's this? What does it do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can we change this one for 3 people? Can we,
Sorry, it's a
with
clean
the-
house.
That's how it is.
Cleaning house.
That's how
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Period.
Cutbacks.
Yeah.
Cutbacks are cutbacks. They got to survive.
2 years before I leave the company, I went to India 3 times. And I had 45 people in my department just processing claims. So I had to go to India because we had an office in India to train the people over there, to teach them how to do our job,
Yeah.
my team's job.
Yeah.
Remote.
So-
a lot of transitioning into remote.
I knew what was going to happen.
Right.
I just didn't know that it was going to happen so fast.
I was going to ask, how long was that? Like, how quickly did that happen?
2 years, year and a half. In 1 year, I had to fire like 8 to 10 people.
That you knew and you had relationships with? Like,
One of my friends,
how did that
I cried.
feel?
He didn't cry, and I cried on the phone. And it was on the phone because of COVID. It was on the phone.
And these are people that have families.
Friends of mine.
Right.
That everybody that was there in Miami, we knew everybody. We brought people from Bupa that used to work with us.
Yeah.
So I had people that I cried. They didn't cry, and I cried on the phone.
Yeah.
So until one day that I was called in. But my team that was for claims was, let's say, 22 people was reduced to 7 or 8. So I knew it was getting close.
Yeah.
You must have been like, when is that time coming? When is that time? Now, did you prepare yourself behind the scenes by
No.
with a plan?
No,
Or,
nothing.
just
I
waiting?
wasn't expecting at all.
You weren't
Because
expecting it.
I thought that first my team would go, and I thought that they were going to put me in another department.
Okay.
That's what in my head. So me,
Never crossed your mind that you were going
Getting
to
let
Like
go
a deer
like
in
this?
headlights.
Wow.
Yeah.
when they called me in, I said, oh my God, another person in my team. I swear to God, it was like one of the worst days of my life because I was caught by surprise, like no mercy. Well, yes, but I had no idea. No idea.
Would
No
you
idea.
mind sharing what was that conversation like? How did that go?
It was surreal.
Do you even remember it?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I remember, but it took me a minute to understand
was
what was
shock.
going on. I was like, what? What? But no, it wasn't a decision. It was the people from the board.
The people you don't even see.
Yeah.
Right.
And this and this. And I was like, it took me a while. We had a really good HR manager, and she stayed with me the entire time. She was a sweetheart. And, usually when this happened, especially when somebody, I had access to all confidential documents for the company. It was a Friday, and she still said, no, take your laptop home. I know you're not going to do anything. You're not going to take.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't do that.
Right. It's like, before I say it, give me your laptop.
No.
Or escort you out the building.
Exactly.
No, I wasn't escorted out.
Wow.
Thank God, I took my laptop home. She said, take out of your laptop whatever you need. I know you're not going to do anything. Of course, I didn't have access to my emails, but all my contacts were there. I didn't have access to new emails, but every other email was there.
Change your passwords, all of that.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, Sabrina. How?
And I believe when they said that it wasn't their decision, it really wasn't.
Yeah.
The company bankrupted 2 years after that.
But
I was going to ask you what happened to them after.
Let's scale this back a little bit because I don't want to get too far ahead. I really want to focus on something. And you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But do you feel that when that happened, you fell into some type of depression, sadness. How did that make you feel? I want to get into that because I know that when things like that,
especially being a mom and you have kids, where did it go? Where did it take you?
How did it make you feel? How did it impact your home and your family?
Yeah, well, it was, let me tell you, God loves me very much. I always say that. It's never luck because things happen in my life that I don't know how to explain, but everything happens at the right time. And I was living in Doral, and I had I've been with my boyfriend for 9 years now. We were together all this time, 5 years. Yeah, we've been together 4 or 5 years. And we've been talking about living together. And I was like, no. Only when my son goes to college.
And he's a rock star.
Yeah.
He is a rock star.
Yeah, he is.
What's the name of his band?
Groove Street Band. Saturday they have a concert. For Lauderdale, everybody there.
He serenades you once in a while.
Yeah, because I force him to. So I finally had said, okay, I'm coming to Cooper City because my son is going to college. My son went to Orlando, my oldest son. Okay. My little one was with me. So it was the perfect time. I rented my house in Doral, and that was in July. And this all happened in November, right before Thanksgiving.
Wow, right before the holidays.
Yeah.
So how long, right before the holidays.
Yeah.
How long then from that moment did it take for you to be like, now it's like my next move? Like, how long did it take you? Did you fall into a depression? How long did it take you to get up and just be like,
when I
were you like, screw this? I'm kidding.
No. A lot of questions. We'll let you answer.
I swear to God, until December of last year, that was November of 2021, December of 2023, the company bankrupted. Okay. For those 2 years, I had nightmares almost every day with the scene in my life or something related. Okay. I had nightmares, and sometimes it makes you wonder, like, but why did this happen? You always think it's you. Mm-hmm. I remember that day I was like this, and the HR lady that I was talking to, there was somebody else that shouldn't be there, didn't do anything, somebody that I didn't get along. And I still had, because I always try to find the best in every bad situation. At the end, when she calmed me down and everything, I said, how come so-and-so, this did happen with so-and-so? And she was like, because it wasn't based on performance. You make more money, so-and-so doesn't. If it was performance, then he would be. It's not your case. And that helped. I always remember her saying that to me.
Okay, that gave you some peace.
Yeah.
That you were like, it wasn't something you had done in what you did on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't based on your work performance at all. It was, this is your salary. Yeah. And
did they replace you with someone?
No.
Or your position was just eliminated?
It was eliminated.
Okay.
Because my team was cut in a third because I had to let people go, and I trained the team in India. So there was a time that we stopped hiring in Miami, and we were hiring in India. We had an office over there. And my boss used to say, well, one person in Miami is 5 people in India.
Yeah. Wow. Jesus.
Well, that's
pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So
reality.
It's reality.
It's where we've transitioned.
Not to say nothing, but that's why when you call a lot of like customer service numbers, they're people from other countries. Yeah. And they call themselves American names. So my name is Paul.
But let me tell you something. I say that, and I'm not talking down or anything.
No, because there's a lot of businesses that do that.
Do it.
Because you do cut back.
The team in India, to all fairness, they were amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. But we had people here. Okay. Well, why don't you do addition people in India? Not let go the people here. That was always my thing. It was like, okay, we're going to hire in India, but...
Or utilize them in other ways, right?
Yeah, because they were good. They were good. But anyways, so...
So you had...
my boyfriend, he was amazing. He was helping me. And the day that it happened, I made him the first call and I went home. Well, I had been living here. I had just moved here to Cooper City. So my house was rented. So I had the income from my house. My son was already in college. I only had the little one with me. So the biggest expensive that you have is your mortgage. So I didn't have that expensive. That's why I say that things happen at the time. Have I been home when this happened? And I knew the next month I had to pay the mortgage. It would be a different scenario. But also, they gave me a severance package. So they gave me almost 6 months salary. And that helped. Well,
right.
That was,
so you figured all that out.
That was the base of everything because I soon, that I got out of my funk.
Right.
Yeah.
After like a week.
But did
gave you the
go
space.
back to Brazil? Because I remember you told me that you went back to Brazil.
Yeah.
During that time.
Because it was Christmas and New Year's.
The holidays were coming up when they let you go.
Yeah. So the month of December, my phone didn't stop because thank God everybody, all the agents that used to work with us to sell the company, they were like, don't worry, we're going to talk to this company. We're going to talk to this company. Some companies reached out to me for me to interview. And I said, I'm not doing anything right now because thank God I had that peace of mind. It's not that next month I don't have my paycheck, what my kid's going to eat, I had the peace of mind. And Dawn was amazing. Don't worry about anything. Worry about you, what you're going to do.
This is your partner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
which is important
so you
to
had
have that great support system.
Yes,
yes,
I agree.
I had.
And then you went, how long were you in Brazil when you went back?
Like a month.
Okay.
And I went over there to think.
Yeah.
I was with my family. My brother.
More support.
Yeah. And my brother is very business oriented. And I sat down with him and he said, okay, how long do you have your financial? What's your financial situation? Do you have money for the next 6 months? And I said, yes, I do. It was like, okay, so calmly look at all your options. Don't jump on the first thing. And Don, I was talking to him because one of the companies reached out to me and was very persistent. And I said, look, let me come back from Brazil and see what I decide. And Don said, look, you were so unhappy. You're like, come home and start screaming. It's been like 6 months. You don't even sit on the table to have dinner with us because we're always in meetings and the phone calls. And if the phone rings in the middle of dinner, I have to get up because it's somebody saying that need my help.
And what year is this now?
2021.
2021. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions that I was going to ask you were you able to separate bringing work home? And clearly you weren't able to do that. And that impacts your relationship, your relationship
God
with your
forbid
kids.
if some agent in Mexico needed my help, reached me on the phone and didn't get a hold of me, all hell would break loose.
And you're in a different stage now in your life. Like you said, your oldest was now in college, university. Yeah. So now you have a different perspective than when you were 22 and you came here.
Exactly.
So now your priorities probably were a little different.
Look, I haven't even realized that I haven't sat with my family to have dinner until Dawn told me.
Wow.
It's been like 3 months you don't sit on the table to have dinner with us. You're always yelling and screaming on the phone because you're too stressed. So you're going to go to another company, you're going to make good money, and everything's going to start all over. It's not different. The grass is not greener. So go to Brazil. Let's go to Brazil. Think about it. See what you're going to do. And that's how I decided. I said, you know what? Maybe I have the money. Not I have the money. I mean, I'm not going to sit in front of Publix asking Maritza to give me an egg when she comes out of Publix, Of course, I'm not going to be spending a lot of money, but I have the money.
You had reserves.
I have reserves. And let me build my business. Let's see what happens here. Let me talk to the friends, the people in the industry. I didn't have any clients, but I was friends with the agents, and those agents had clients.
So you had connections.
I had connections, and I started building my network, talking to the companies, making contracts, and little by little. And I believe that I could do it because I don't want to. It's just people like me.
You're likable. You're charming. You're charismatic.
People trust me professionally speaking.
Yes.
And that I heard every single day when I was trying to figure it out. People that I didn't even expect.
Well, the fact that I could tell like you're passionate about this particular industry. And so you want to be able to help. And so you could see it. It comes out.
Yeah. So
people like to do business with people that they like and people that they trust.
Right. And the fact that, you like what you do. So.
Yeah.
And even doing my own business, I made mistakes at the beginning because one person came to me and offered me this great partnership. And
I was going to ask you about that.
Not to get into details, but he was already established. And he offered me this great...
Which is very tempting to go into that.
I got greedy.
Okay.
And
in what way?
I'm not... Because he said, okay, we're going to open this agency. He had already his agency. He was going to bring me in. And it's like, we can make a lot of money and blah, blah, blah. And I found out because these people don't know that we know everybody from the insurance companies.
Right.
And people from the companies would come to me and say, this guy.
But that's how it is.
Not a good person.
Yeah.
Not a good person. He comes in, he goes, hey, if Sabrina calls, don't tell her about this deal, this deal. He was doing deals behind my back in 2 months that we were together. So, that was hard for me, but we cut ties.
Right.
So it was the first mistake, but thank God I made them because
Especially
I learned.
Early.
Yeah, but I learned what not to do, and I needed to make mistakes. So
if I'm
going
understanding
forward
correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, at this point you've already made the decision. I'm going to do it by myself.
Yeah, I'm going to do it by myself.
With the support of your boyfriend and everything that you had learned. So take us into that. Like, what was your first step? Like when you said, I'm going to do this.
I'm going to do this, and I start here. So I start talking to agents. There was one agent from Venezuela that he worked with us in GBG. And I wasn't very close to him, but he was very close to a friend, Giselle.
Okay.
And I wasn't very close to him, but he was, every time that he needed something, he would call me very, very polite and everything. And he was someone that he looked at me and he said, Sabrina, whatever you do, I want to be with you. I want to be your agent. I want to work with you. And he's still working. His son is now 24 years old. He just got married here. And I'm like coaching his son. He's getting his license. He's gonna be working with me because I'm very grateful to people. And I didn't expect because I wasn't close to him.
Right.
And he was always guiding me because, remember, I was in the company. I was never on the other side. And now I'm selling the company. I need to navigate on this.
So at this point, what is this doing to like your confidence level, especially coming back from like being let go from this company? You went through like this difficult transition.
And making a lot of money. I was making a lot of money when I left the company. And I had to start I'm still not making the same, but I have a life.
Right.
And I know that it's a matter of a year or two because every year the business is getting bigger.
Can I ask you a question about
life now, like doing what you want. There's no one is screaming at you anymore.
Right.
There's no...
that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, you said you were making a lot. We won't get into that, but you were making a lot. You're making a little bit less. But what you have that you didn't have that's not of monetary value, what would you say is like the best thing about that?
To me, it's the freedom.
The freedom.
Then it goes back to when I come to this country. Okay. The freedom, because, yes, I still have to pick up the phone late at night. I still have to pick up the phone on the weekends.
Yeah.
But now I'm working for me.
It's your baby.
Yeah. Because now I'm working for me. And when I pick up the phone on the weekends, it's not the person saying, oh, you have to pick up the phone because I'm a client and you have to pick up the phone. It was with all of us, the directors. Now, when I pick up the phone on a weekend and I help somebody, I receive always something on Instagram, somebody say, hey, I worked with Sabrina. She's amazing. She does that. People that recognize you. What I didn't have before is the freedom of the peace to enjoy your family,
And I think your quality of life also improved, which I believe that quality of life, there's no value. Like, to me, that is like priceless.
Yeah.
What I mean.
And something that was always like holding me back when I was an executive, it was, I didn't like to talk, on a microphone in person. And I learned having my own business. Now I love to do it. I do my lives. I kind of lost this inhibition, even though
we don't even do lives. We're scared of them.
Listen,
right, Monica?
Yeah, I don't.
We did a live the other day.
I'm trying to do lives with these girls, and they're like, "We're not ready." But we're gonna push ourselves and use your story as an inspiration to potentially get out of our comfort zone.
And I'm helping a lot of people. Besides, I help people that I'm not making money. I'm just teaching people, Brazilians, they are here in this country because the health in this country is a different animal.
It's a different animal.
Well, especially with like what recently, unfortunately, and I hate to bring that up, but what happened with the CEO of healthcare.
Oh, that's terrible.
And now there's a lot of doctors that are coming on
but
live.
What's worse,
happening,
Jessica, is the way people have reacted to.
Right.
I was disgusted by it.
No, a whole other monster,
it's
like Sabrina's saying.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I couldn't believe
and people
what humanity.
Are crazy now.
Yeah, they're crazy now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you see that they? I'm sorry, but did you see like just recently they threw that guy in the subway in New York?
No.
Yeah. He was from Florida. He was from Miami. There's just like a lot of like negative stuff going on.
Yeah,
and it all happened like
and even
simultaneously.
Like healthcare professionals.
Yes,
because like I think it was today I saw her last night. There was a surgeon that she said. I mean, she went on social media and said, "I was just on a phone call. I was just." Removed from starting surgery for a patient who's basically was sedated in the surgical room. And she's saying that the insurance company had called her to get information whether they should cover the surgery or not.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy that the doctor is saying it on social media.
Did you hear what they did in New York shortly after the gentleman from United Healthcare was assassinated? They had put posters all over Manhattan.
Oh, I saw that.
Of all the CEOs of all the top, like Cigna and Aetna.
That's crazy.
And they had put an X on the face of the United Healthcare CEO and like saying, "Oh, these are the next targets." Yeah. And I'm like, what has humanity gotten to?
Yeah.
It's absolutely devastating.
Yeah. Well, especially, I don't know where you from?
My dad is I'm born here, but my dad is from Colombia and my mom's from Ecuador.
So coming from Colombia, Ecuador, Brazil, we have different health cares. Mm-hmm. There's no Brazilians, they come here, they don't know anything. They don't understand anything. Copay, car insurance, out of pocket. So what I do now, I help a lot of people here that are lost, don't even know that they are qualified to have a health insurance. And they don't have health insurance in this country.
Personalized, yeah.
But people with not a lot of money, just to teach them, and I love it.
So I'm sure that you feel like you're contributing, your business model is contributing to even your own community, to society.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's important to serve your community.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care. A lot of people go, somebody wants to talk to you, ask questions about their own health insurance that they get from work. It has nothing to do with me. Oh, can you teach me how to use it? Because let's be honest, in this country, it's easier to build a rocket for NASA or to understand your health insurance.
Yeah, I get it. Yes, absolutely. Makes no sense, actually.
Yeah. If you can build a rocket for NASA a lot faster.
Yeah.
So even my boyfriend, born and raised here, gringo, he asked me, I don't know why I paid $200 on this thing. What is this? I was like,
so do you think you will ever work for anyone else again?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. And I always get people like that starting that, don't know what to do with the career, especially friends of us that are still in those companies, and they go like, oh my God, I wish I had your courage. It's like, don't wait until you're fired.
Yeah.
Don't wait until you're fired. Come work with me. But keep in mind, you're not going to make money on the first year. Maybe not in the second. It's like any business. When you open a business, you don't make money right away unless you open like a sex shop or something. There's no easy money.
It's no easy. Trust me, they're working hard for the money too.
Yeah, I was going to say, not even for sex shop. Do we need to cut this?
No, that's fine. We're definitely leaving that in. But no, I know, Monica, you had wanted to ask her another question.
If you guys want to work with me, I mean, really, I need the Spanish community now. I have the Brazilians one.
Be careful. You might not be invited back here for asking me that one. So what is some advice that you would give a woman over 40 about who's scared to start over or change a career or start their own business?
You have to understand the challenge that's ahead of you. Financially speaking, and you might make mistakes, but if you put your mind, that's what you want to do. Have always a plan A, B, and C in mind. Because I had, when I started my agency, I said, if it doesn't work in a year, maybe I'll go back.
Yep.
Yeah, and I worked for a company.
Yeah.
Thank God. Even the setback that I had with my first partner didn't make me change my mind. I said, no, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to see how far I can push this. And it worked, You have to put yourself out there. You have to talk to people. If you want to open your business, I think, first thing, whatever you do, it's service, it's product, you have to start doing network.
Yeah. Right. Big time.
Network is everything.
Yeah.
I start going to...
You got to sell yourself.
Yeah.
Well, and that's not easy for everyone. No. It really isn't.
No, even I can imagine because I'm an outgoing person and I don't like to do posts and sell myself out there. I feel like, oh my God, people are going to laugh at me. Well, if they want to laugh at me,
let them
laugh at me.
So what does that conversation look like internally for you to take those risky steps or those courageous steps? Like, what are you telling yourself? Because as women, we have a lot of inner conversation.
Yeah.
So what does that look like for you?
I never thought about.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Like for you to say, I'm going to post this. What is that thought that you're overcoming at that moment? Like you're saying.
Yeah, I'm going to post. Well, first, when I decide to post, even though I don't like it, I know I'm going to help people. And I'm going to draw people in with my post. And all the things. I have an influencer that he helps me, and he's very he's known on the Brazilian community here.
Give him a shout out. What's his name?
Oh, Leo Fuchs.
Okay.
Leo Fuchs. He's amazing.
How long have you been working with him?
Almost a year now.
What have you learned from this particular influencer?
Well, I learned that I talk too much.
Really?
He always tells
I thought that
me,
would be a positive.
You talk too much. You gotta be right to the point.
Okay. But those are good tips.
You got to get to
the point.
Yeah.
Jessica, didn't I tell you that once? I was like, we can't be too wordy. We got to get to the point.
Exactly.
Too wordy.
Because when I get
attention
nervous,
spans are like 10 seconds.
You're just...
I say the same thing over
you're
and
circling
over.
around it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did, there's a group of...
That's a good tip.
I know. We did a live together.
I know.
In November, we did a live together. It was just... We did 2 lives before that. The second live that I did, me and my Instagram, and him on his Instagram.
I've seen that.
I think I saw that one.
That's like 2.
I saw that.
You're on your Instagram, and you connect together.
No, that was the last.
Teach me, because
I would wanted to do that with you only because it's hard for us to see each other.
I would love to
I've actually
do that.
thought about
But
that.
Okay. Because we should
teach us.
I'll show you.
Almighty One.
Thank you for that. You see
Second,
what we're learning from
Leo,
Sabrina?
thank you so much. That was the second thing that I learned from him.
I gotta get a piece of chocolate. I can't. I'm sorry.
I'll share the wealth.
I'll get you to meet him. He's amazing. So
Sorry, I need a little sugar.
Yeah. So he was teaching me how to do guiding me. He guides me and he makes those. Do you open your Instagram to look at health insurance? No, nobody does. So he makes it funny in a way that catches your attention. Everybody looks. And he makes it light.
Okay.
You're not even realizing what you see. And he puts me to act. We act together like an actress.
Yeah, I know.
I'm an actress. And the lives that we did, the first one was like 500 people for one entire hour watching. 500 people watching. The second one was 700 people watching. So he gave me a lot of visibility with the Brazilians. And it's always in Portuguese and everything. And he knows the famous people.
Okay.
We did the third one, which is the one that you're talking about. We were actually together at his house. It was me and him. So he said, we're going to do from your Instagram. and it's going to be fine. And it was fine. We had
So he knows what he's doing.
we had like 50 people the entire time, but a friend of his that it's a famous actor from Global, Global, the telenovelas.
Okay.
He called 10 minutes before we start doing the live, and I start talking to him, and he said, "Oh, you guys gonna do a live? Can you guys call me?
Wow.
So I can ask a question." I swear to God, 50 people, 47, 45. He came in 3 seconds, we had 400 people watching the live.
But Sabrina, that is growth and you're getting out of your comfort zone, which is one of the things that hopefully the people who are listening to us, it's like, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
You have to believe in yourself. And you have to go the extra mile.
You already said the comfort zone. You have to get out of your comfort zone. Yes. I'm still not completely out of my comfort zone, but I will be. Mm-hmm. And I'm afraid when that day happens because, I'm very out there. So
yeah.
But growth happens. Growth happens when you're out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then as far as the influencer, what are the tips you feel has worked for you regarding, so he told you, don't talk too much.
Don't talk too much on the lives. Don't talk too much.
But you know what? One thing that I found interesting, which is the truth, is like, if you have a business, he's like, you think people go on Instagram to learn about insurance? You gotta do many other things. And then in between there, you're like, if you need insurance, and that's how it is.
He makes, he taught me how to make the post in a very funny and light way because insurance is everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's insurance. Your car needs to have insurance. Your dog has insurance. Mm-hmm. Your house has insurance.
Yeah, I just thought
even
about
dogs have insurance in this country.
Like the progressive insurance. I always think about
and when you travel, everybody.
Every time I think of insurance, I think of Emo-wee and Doug.
And Doug, oh my God. And I have ADHD. Like,
do you?
Severe.
Really? I didn't know.
Don't you think?
No, I mean, I knew that you were very energetic and everything, but really, I didn't know that. Sabrina.
Yeah.
Wow.
Attention for me.
When were you diagnosed with that?
Like 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, at GBG, I had a lot of. Gabriel has it, you know, and
well, thanks for sharing that with us.
I always saw myself in him. When he was diagnosed, I said, "No, I think I have this thing too."
Wow. So you found out later in your life.
Later. When I was working at the company, I had a lot of problems, like reading contracts, and I had to read contracts. And I had to come to the office at 5 a.m. So no one was there. Close my door, stay in my office, lights off, because some people come earlier and they want to chat and they want to ask you a question. And I was everybody's boss. I couldn't say, "No, I'm busy now. Come back later." No, come in. What do you need? Oh, I need this, So they have to interrupt. If I'm reading something and I get interrupted, forget about it. Have to start from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So 5 a.m, I was there to read my things. So I was like, oh, so this is it. But if I decided to read in the middle of the day, my day was not.
So you have now your own business and you have ADHD. What are the tools you use, or what do you do to help you manage and get things done?
Yeah. For me, organizing myself is the hardest thing.
Okay.
But it's been 3 years that I'm having these magic pills.
Okay.
That kind of help me focus.
Okay.
And let me tell you, you were singing the M-O-M-O and Doug. Mm-hmm. I hear
M-O-E and Doug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how progressive can bundle. Don't get me started with Geico. So I have the TV on the entire day because I'm alone. I need to hear noise.
Background.
Okay.
Otherwise, I lose my concentration. I have to have the noise. I have to have a routine. Uh-huh. If I get out of my routine, then everything goes. And the medications, they help me focus. Okay. Even though you don't take every day, my doctor says that you have to take every day because even when you don't have to work, it needs to be working, and it helps me a lot to be focused and everything.
So Sabrina, you're Gen X, right? That you're Gen X. But I did notice that with our Gen X,
I don't even know.
Yeah, I think you are. Well, you are.
Let's call my son. He knows everybody.
No, the reason I bring that up is because I've actually heard from other people that they were diagnosed with many things that were not even available when they were younger. So you've had to grow up with, well, there was one that had Asperger's.
Yeah.
And they always just thought he was weird, but he had Asperger's. And another one was a high level of autism. These are people that I genuinely know.
Yeah.
And now you're saying ADHD. And I just find it fascinating how we grew up at a time when we were little that these things were not really very talked about, and we just had to persevere through whatever it is that we were going through.
ADHD, when you're growing up, only the chancleta would resolve the problem.
It's true. It's true.
Chancleta,
You got a spanking or
do capoeira to lift the chancleta.
That's how it was. So it's fascinating that you were able to. It's good that you found out. And were able to do something about it.
I started doing therapy. I never believed in therapy. I thought only crazy people do therapy. So when I got divorced, I started doing therapy because my son started doing therapy, and I started doing right after him, and that's when. The therapist started telling me, maybe you should look into this because you don't leave the present. You're always anxious about something that's going to happen.
I think therapy is good for everyone.
Yeah,
that's so great that you share that, because especially like in Latin communities, like
it's a stigma.
It is.
Yeah, it is. But that's changing too.
Yeah. But I saw a meme on one of these social media networks, and it was a joke, but it kind of like made you think. So the joke was the child was telling the mom that they were battling depression. And the mother came in and she was like, sí, estás deprimida. Bueno, levántate y lava los platos because you could do that while you're depressed. You know, it was a joke, but that's how it was growing up. Like our parents, not all parents, but a lot of it was like, you got to get over it.
Yeah.
But now we have more education on these things.
I still see myself saying, oh, stop that sometimes. And I have to, because our generation grew up like this, that even though this happened to me, it was horrible and everything, I never had really depression. I, never had this thing. I get up and I don't want to leave my bed. I feel the sadness, but thank God, I think I'm so outgoing, and I always like to look at the bright side of things. Don was picking me up from the airport, and he said something in the car. Is he going to listen to this?
Probably not. But we hope so. We hope so.
We want more listeners.
We want more listeners.
He picked me up. And,
we don't mind.
Hey, we don't mind.
He picked me up, and I want to remember exactly what the conversation was. And he said, "Well, this happened, but he wanted to go to Pearl Jam.
He wanted to what?
We're going to go to Italy in April.
Okay.
But I'm deciding the dates for my birthday, April 25th. And he asked, can we come back before? Go before I come back before, because the Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam.
Mm-hmm. Pearl Jam.
Sorry, no te entendí.
¿Verdad?
I thought you meant purge. I was like, what?
La gelea de pérola. How do you say jelly, gem in Spanish? Gem.
Pearl Jam?
No, gem.
Gem. In Spanish?
Yeah.
Jam. Like mermelada.
Jam.
Like mermelada.
Sí, mermelada.
La mermelada de pérola. Ay, Dios mío.
Ay, Dios mío. So he's a fan of Pearl Jam.
Yeah, and I said, hey, he picked me up at the airport yesterday, 6:00 in the morning. And I was asking him, because I've been looking for tickets. And I said, hey, what day is the concert that you're going? He goes, well, the concert is sold out, but I don't know. I'm going to see if I can get it, because I still, if it's high up, here, Hard Rock Live.
Yeah.
The place is small. Mm-hmm. And was like, the only ones that they might have is the ones
the nosebleed.
Mm-hmm. But I said, wow, but that's a good thing. It was like, no, it's all the way there. I said, you have to look on the good side. You're gonna buy well, it's not going to be as expensive as the other seats. And the place is little. It's so small that we went to Red Hot Chili Peppers and we were there and it was just fine. You see everybody because it's
The Hard Rock.
This is where the Seminole, where the guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the way it is.
It's not that
I
big.
remember when we went to Mary J. Blige, I thought like this is the best like place
The
to watch a
acoustic, it's
concert.
really
Wherever you
good.
sit,
Yeah,
you feel like you get
it's
a view.
good sit. And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" Because you can hear everything. I was like, "Yeah, but I was like, Don, just look on the bright side." You know, I mean, well, anyways, he didn't get it. He didn't get the ticket. So
But you do seem, because I know you personally, you do seem more lighthearted, more like, I don't know. I can't explain I don't know what the right word is, but you do seem more happier. Honestly.
yeah.
I do see it.
A lot of people tells me this.
Good.
That now that, and I'm not working less. I'm working the same amount, but I'm having quality of work.
Right.
If in the middle of the day, if I don't want to have panic attack because I have a doctor's appointment.
Wow.
And for 2 hours, no one would be able to reach me.
Yeah.
And, God knows if somebody doesn't get a hold of me.
And I actually know a few people personally that I won't get into specifics that have that type of work, those type of jobs, and they're like, I'm a slave. I live literally just to work. They work from home, which I think is worse. Because when you go to the office, you're there from like 8 to 5 or 8 to 4 or 9 to 6 or whatever the hours are. But then you come home typically and you're home. But when you work from home and your office is from home, you have people working from 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
You know, and and I know these people, and it's like totally taken over their lives.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many people from the industry that friends, good friends of mine that say, oh my God, I wish I could do the same thing. I was like, you can, but you got to understand the challenges. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be, oh my God, amazing, I don't have a boss. No, now it's worse. You don't have a boss. You have to go after your clients. You have to find the business.
You
have to find a business.
Yeah. I congratulate you for doing that. And I think your story will be inspirational to women who maybe, and all people that want to start a new journey in their life. Mm-hmm. I do. I really do. So I'm going to ask.
But let me tell you, for 2 years, I had nightmares. The nightmares only stopped December 20th when the first person let go from GBG. Because they let go everybody.
Wow.
At the same day.
Yeah.
No way.
They got all the employees and they said, company, you guys have 10 days to find a job. We're going to close the company. They bankrupted.
And your nightmares stopped?
Some people left without getting the paycheck for that week that they worked. Imagine that's what I'm saying. Timing for me was everything.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've recovered from that?
When I got the very first phone call from a friend of mine that said, Savi, do you know anybody that's hiring? I said, why? You live in GBG? He was like, well, they just said they're bankrupted and they told us to find jobs. I said, what?
Wow.
And she goes, yeah, we don't even know if we're going to get the paycheck. They just reunited the employees and said that's the reality.
And what did that feel like? How did you know you recovered? Like, what made you know, like, I let go?
That it wasn't me. For sure it wasn't me. That showed me that it wasn't me. It was the company and the way that the company didn't last 2 years. So the fund that bought the company, I was like...
Maybe it was better you didn't meet those people up there.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I met those people up there. Because it was my reality. We were running the company. I met them.
Wow. Okay. Well, I did want to ask you something, and I was like, I regret not asking you.
I was able to find, because I know a lot of people, especially now, I was able to get a lot of people from GBG and find them, give the resumes to the people that I know from other companies, and a lot of people got hired
have said that
and everything.
about you. I know that because they have said it to me, that some people have said to me that you did that for people. And that's why I wanted to get into faith, not to get religious or anything, but you do have a relationship with God. I know you do. And how do you feel that helped you when all of this was going on? Did you rely on your faith?
Oh, yeah. I went to Israel, and March 22.
You did.
2022.
That's definitely something
Do
like
you
I
mind
always wanted to
sharing your
do.
Israel story?
And that week, we closed the company. We decided to go. So for me, it was very special.
Like healing.
What, if you don't mind sharing, what was the purpose of going to Israel and what happened when you were there?
Well, the purpose of going to Israel was, did I tell you? It was because my friend, she found out that she had a fungus on her head, and she had surgeries all over the country, had open surgery. And
In her brain?
In her brain.
Wow.
In her brain. And to this day, she still doesn't know how the fungus got there. But so she had to do follow-ups for 2 years traveling to see. It was very, very rare. And a few people that the doctors knew that had this all over the world. There was like 3 people in the U.S., 4 people somewhere. It was very, very rare. They have to take anti-seizure medication for the rest of their life because the fungus never goes away. He falls asleep, but he might wake up one day, you know, and she's very, very, very religious. And she started doing the exams every year. She had to go to the checkup. And for a year and a half, they couldn't detect the fungus anymore. Even asleep, it was completely gone, like gone. And that's when she decided to go to Israel. And she asked us, me and another friend, to go with her, especially because she lost the peripheral vision.
Okay.
So she didn't want to go alone because she bumps into people. People don't understand. People think that she does on purpose, but she can see it here.
Okay.
So she's like, oh, I need you guys to go. One goes on this side, the other goes on this side. So I don't bump into anybody.
Yeah.
But that going to Israel, that really, my faith wasn't that strong going in, but going out, I was going to go to Israel again this year when the whole war happened.
Yeah.
How long were you there?
Like 2 weeks.
And what kind of experience did you have while you were there?
It was amazing. We've been baptized at the Jordan River.
Oh, wow.
We did the baptism at the Jordan River. We went everywhere. We went with a priest from Brazil. So it was a priest and a group of 20 people. And we did everything.
And how did that change you when you came back?
It gave me a lot more strength, you know, because I know being there, you've been so close to God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've been so close when you're there. You know that it makes your faith a lot stronger. It makes you believe that everything that you believe in, even the things that you didn't, it's true.
Yeah.
So whatever it's to be yours and the presence of God in your life.
Yeah.
It's real. So it gave me a lot of strength.
Sabrina, if you don't mind me asking, when you got baptized, when it was physically happening, did you feel anything?
My God, I'm always freezing. Mm-hmm. Look at me. I'm always freezing. If it's 50 degrees outside, I'm freezing. And the water over there was like March that we went. The water was freezing. We had to put the white gowns and everything. The water was freezing. So I was like, oh my God, I cannot get in this water. So he would put us there and pray a little bit. So you have to go all submerged and come back. I was one of the first ones. I swear to God, it was so amazing that I didn't feel the water. I was one of the few ones that stay in the water just watching the other people getting baptized. I didn't feel the temperature of the water at all.
You felt that peace?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When we were leaving the baptism place, there was a group of Argentinians, like 3 girls. They didn't speak Portuguese, but they came to me and they said, oh, can you ask your priest to baptize us? He was like, can you do it? He was like, yeah, can you help me? Can you say things in Spanish? And it was like, I'm a Portuguese. Whatever I didn't know, I just made up, But it was so cute because we were there and we were helping other people. Yeah. Those girls would gonna come, swim in the Jordan River, and then go back to the country and it would feel special, but we made it special for them.
Yeah.
When was this?
March 2022. It was a week before Easter. We were there.
Wow. Oh, so that made it even more
We did
special.
the whole Via Crucis in Jerusalem. Everything with the cross. We stop at every single how do you say it? In station, every single station, and we would read what happened at that station, and somebody else would hold the cross, and we did the old Jerusalem.
Nice. That's amazing.
It was amazing.
That's beautiful.
And it was right after we were the very first group when Israel opened after COVID.
Wow.
So all the meetings that we had before, the priest would say, look, when we go to the Basilica of the Annunciation, you guys going to stay there for like 5 minutes because it's a lot of people. When we go to this place, it's going to be 3 seconds, no pictures, because there's always long lines that we're going to be hours in the lines and everything. So be prepared for that. We went to the where Jesus is buried. So it's the holiest place over there.
Okay.
So he said that over there is 2 seconds.
Okay.
The holy sepulchre over there is 2 seconds. And we got there. There was no one there. We were sitting, just watching. We all went 3 times in the thing. And then every day we had a mass. So,
did you feel anything?
Yes,
you did. What did you, if you don't mind me asking, what did you feel?
It's amazing. It's impossible to describe, but you feel closer to God.
Like the presence.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you go, especially the Catholics from Brazil, we're very Marian. We're very close to Maria. So we go to those, the Basilica of the Annunciation, where the angel came to her and told her that she was pregnant. We went, the priest, our priest, he goes every year to Israel. So he got to know a lot of priests that lived there, made friends and everything. When we went to the Basilica, he was able to get something special for us. Behind the Basilica, they still have the entrance of her house, and it's there, but no one can go there. So they let us in, the priests that live there. They said, you guys can go, but for 5 minutes, and don't make noise or anything. So you can see, and I have to believe, I know that people don't laugh when I tell him, but we went over there. You see the shape, you see the thing, because even though they have the Basilica, a lot in the middle, a lot of stuff, it's original from that time.
Right.
So they boarded, so you can just look. You can
protect it
too close.
Right. It's sacred.
Yeah. So you can see the entrance of the house that she supposedly was living, and that's very powerful.
Right.
That's faith.
Well, I was going to say, you're going with your faith. You're going.
You're going with your faith. Yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So it's beautiful. Everything touches your heart. So we see a lot of things.
What you're saying, I'm honestly, I'm receiving everything that you're saying. It's beautiful. I can imagine it all.
Yeah. We went to a place, I don't know if anybody is Catholic, but we went to a place where that's when the Holy Father was taught to the people, So we went to this little chapel. We went to the first miracle of Jesus, the wedding. We went to that place.
Okay.
And they have, we went to a church that is on top of where the everything took place. And in the middle, it's all barricaded, they protected.
Of course,
but
they have to.
The stones are from that time.
Wow. Everything's preserved.
Yeah, everything is preserved. You go to the Mount of the Olives, and, of course, you don't know, this was the branch that Jesus saw. No. But you know that he walked over there.
Yeah, right.
And you were there.
I don't know why this just came to my mind. Anybody watching The Chosen?
Yes. I have not yet.
I love it.
Love it.
I think that is the most part. And during Christmas, I was watching a lot of movies because I also have my faith as you, and I love all those movies. And I feel like right now there's a shift happening in humanity.
Yes, I agree.
That we are starving, and humanity is finally ready and hungry
to receive
faith, and we're starving for a connection. We're starving for connecting with our morality, with our moral compass that has been lost.
Well, I'm going to jump into that. You know
we
why?
need the Messiah.
We need hope. We're looking
Didn't
for
you
hope.
guys notice the holidays just finished? There were barely any holiday movies, but there were a whole bunch of movies being promoted during the holiday season that were demonic.
Yes, I saw that.
And
I
I'm
even
like,
thought, but Halloween's over.
What is happening? Why are they there are demonic movies being promoted in December. And it's just what you said, Jessica. And I feel it too, because I've never really been a very religious person, but I've always believed in God, in something, a higher power. And I do believe in Jesus, but I've never really been one to go to church and read the scriptures, but I respect it. But lately I feel like there's so much evil that proves to me that God exists, because evil is trying really, really hard. So not to, I want to bring it back to you, but I think that the faith that you have, not that it was similar to mine, but you believed in God, but then all these things happened to you.
Yeah.
You went to Israel, you had this amazing experience, and you had like this protection over you, looking out for you. And whether it was yourself.
I see that too.
Yeah.
I see that too, because you're talking about like the phone call you got, and then even from the beginning that you shared with us from the separation you had with your husband, and yet you were able to have those funds in order to figure that out. And then the same thing happened with they gave you like a stipend or something as far as your work when you were left. So you had some, it's like exactly what Jasmine was saying. Like you had a covering over you. And like, I don't know, I'm just thinking, I just sat here while you were talking about your story in Israel. I thought like, wow, if you would have stayed in the 9 to 5, would you have had that experience?
No, I couldn't. Of course not.
That
2 weeks going over there? Forget about it.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is what you're doing now.
That's what I say. God likes me. It's always.
He loves you.
And
He loves all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And to make things, just to close Israel, the last 2 days that I was there was a terrorist attack right next to where I was.
What?
The hotel, because my whole group,
Oh my God.
when they finished the trip, they went to Jordan. But my trip was way too long. And I said, no, we didn't enjoy Tel Aviv, because we flew to Tel Aviv and then we went to Bethlehem, we went to Nazareth, we went to all those
Oh my
cities.
Goodness.
It was like
It's crazy.
2 weeks
That's beautiful.
from city to city.
What do you want to do? You mentioned, I'm sorry, it just came to my mind. You said you wanted to go back. You were going back. What do you want to do now when you go back? Like, what is it that you didn't do or that you want to?
We saw a lot. We saw all the Christian side, and I wanted to go back to see the Jewish side.
Okay.
Of it, I wanted to go maybe to see 1 week of the Jewish side of Israel, which is very interesting. All my friends.
Part of history. It's all part of history.
And when I was in Tel Aviv, because everybody went to Jordan, I said, no, I'm going to stay 3 days in Tel Aviv. So I got a hotel and everything. My friends, I have friends that live over there, and they're all Jewish. And I love to talk to them because I love to understand. I'm open to everything.
So what happened to your friend that you took over there that you went because of her? So what happened to your friend and her condition?
She doesn't have anything anymore. Nothing. And she is the person that I know in my 47 years of life that has the most faith. I admire her very, very much, because she's one of those people that she lives for religion. She lives to study. But a lot of people that I know, they are like that. They go to the church, they pray every day, but they don't practice what they preach. Mm-hmm. She does. She's the type of person, that friend that when you say, oh my God, look at her. Mm-hmm. I didn't like her head. Her hair doesn't look too good. She goes like, no, you don't know what she did to have the hair like that. Don't talk about her hair. Why do you have,
Right.
She's that good person, a good, genuine person. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are very good and don't go to church. A lot of people go to church and they're not good.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. She's got both.
Mm-hmm. That's why a lot of people don't necessarily believe in religion either, because I don't want to get too personal here, but I know someone who was married to a pastor and he was doing really messed up stuff. I'm not going to get into that too much, but going back to what you're saying, that's absolutely true. Sometimes the poorest person, the most humble person is the one that gives the most, Yeah. And then you have the pastors who are stealing the money and buying helicopters.
Exactly.
It's true. And I like that you said that you wanted to learn about the Jewish side, because again, I'm going through my own journey with faith. And I was very lucky to be able to go to Cordoba in Spain. And I went to the mosque, which ended up transitioning from the mosque to a Christian cathedral. But they were still able to kind of keep the mosque side of it. So it's kind of interesting how it was intertwined. Mm-hmm. that is the only, and I'm very lucky. I have been able to go to some of the most breathtaking churches, in my opinion, in the world. I mean, the one in Barcelona alone, you know?
Yeah.
But the Cathedral of Cordoba, the mosque, I walked in there and I just remember like I felt something that, like you said, I can't explain it. And I remember just like crying, and I was with my husband and I was like, do you feel it? And he goes, I do. And it's unexplainable. And those are the little things that have made me start to believe more. They have no explanation. It is a feeling.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you were able to have that.
Oh my God.
Especially at a time that was very challenging in your life.
And that I needed the most.
Right.
That's why the timing in my life was always everything.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That was so inspirational.
Thank you,
So
it
really
was nice to be here with you guys.
Do you have any future plans or projects that you want to talk about?
Well, because I've been working on the community, Brazilian community, and because of the work on the media and everything, my name is out there. There's a group of women, Brazilian women, you know, that it's called gringas.
Gringas. La brasileña que se llaman gringas.
So they have gringas Miami, gringas Fort Lauderdale, gringas Atlanta. Yeah, gringas.
How many women are in these groups?
A lot. So I have a gringas Fort
Hundreds
Lauderdale.
or thousands?
Well, the principal, it's thousands.
Okay.
But then they still...
So it's a club?
Yeah. Well, they have a page on Facebook. It's only Brazilian women.
Okay.
And there's a group on WhatsApp. So I have... they put me on Gringas Fort Lauderdale.
So it's a kind of network.
Florida.
It is.
It's a network.
with different chapters.
That's how you...
Yeah.
That's why Adriana from the Real Housewives of Miami.
Yes.
She's Brazilian. And she was like, oh, hook me up with
She's in the network.
Hook me up.
She wants to be a part.
Well, she became friends with her.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's
So I put on Gringas. Everybody
She's
was
in
like, do you
Gringas
know
now.
her? No, I didn't put
No,
her on
I'm just
Gringas. I
kidding.
put that video that I...
Oh, you put the video on Gringas.
Yeah. And the other groups that I have.
That was fun. That was so much fun.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was a great time.
Especially with
Receipts. Proof.
So she's Brazilian. La que
Yeah.
estaba ahí.
See,
Adriana Moura.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She's so nice.
And Sabrina was sitting next to
Mira
her,
esto.
talking to her for like 15 minutes. And I'm like, is this really happening?
I talk to her on WhatsApp every now and then.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
But if you get on that show before me, I'll be really upset.
Listen,
No, you fight her. You better fight her.
I can't tell. I can't tell here, but you were there with me. I cannot be on that show. Imagine if they film what I did before I met her.
Let's not talk about
No.
Let's not talk about that.
And I'll be on the show for the wrong reason.
All right, so let's get back to the book. So we're heading
So so this group of people, they reached out to me and they want to make a book. They're doing this book of 15 women of South Florida, of Georgia and South Florida, influential, with business that make a difference in the community and everything. So they invited me to be on this book.
Oh, my God. Congratulations.
That is amazing.
I had to send my bio.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I know.
Exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to do 15 of February. It's going to be in Atlanta. And in March, it's going to be in Orlando.
Wow. And
So
what's going to be the
we're
name of
gonna
the
do
book?
Like a book. What do they call it?
Well, when you know, you let us know. We'll give it a shout out.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know.
Let us know.
I don't know the name of the book, but
Definitely let us know.
We can make it maybe one of the books from our book club.
That's right.
it's more a thing as a recognizing.
Right.
You
Like
know?
a recognition,
Yeah,
a telling of the
recognition.
story,
Nice.
the
Yeah.
contributions that they've made.
Exactly. And we're going to go and we're going to speak a little bit. And she asked me, because she sees, I do the work with the homeless.
Right.
So
Yeah. She really does.
They wanted me to bring more, the girls to see. A lot of people want to be part of a group that I do over here, the food rescue.
Yeah.
And
I saw that on your Instagram. I saw
too.
that.
And
That's
she does
very
it
moving.
every weekend.
yeah, every Saturday.
And that's why God is on your side, because you're one of the most selfless women that I know.
And I was in Brazil. I swear to God, don't laugh. I was in Brazil, and I was 3 weeks in Brazil, so I had to replace my Saturday with somebody else. I was like, oh, I miss going to the food rescue. Like, oh, I can't wait for Saturday.
So you go to like supermarkets that are, how does that work, the food rescue?
No. And the food rescue, if anybody want to join, I'll give you the link. All you need is a car.
Okay.
So we do the link. It's our organization. It's nationwide, but we're part of the South Florida, Food Rescue South Florida. What we do is we put together donors and receivers. So we're always looking for restaurants, supermarkets, Formula One. When they come here, they have a lot of leftover foods, even hospitals.
Okay.
Because they receive the tray, whatever they don't use, they have to throw it away. When you go to the grocery store, you see that there's a date sell by, and they cannot sell after the sell by. They have to throw it away. So it's not expired food or anything. So we go to those places, we talk to them ahead of time, and they say, okay, come every Wednesday and every Thursday of the week. We have contracts with Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Joe DiMaggio Hospital.
Okay.
It's opening a few ones, Insomnia Cookies.
Sonia's
Kiki
Cookies.
on the River.
Oh, wow. Kiki on the River.
Kiki on the River. Every week, Kiki on the River is in our schedule. So we do the contract. They say, come every Monday. Trader Joe's goes, come every Friday and Sunday. Saturday, we go to Sprouts. And then we talk to the people that are going to receive church, homeless shelters, schools. So
And
it's
I've
already
seen pictures of your car. It is packed with food.
Oh my God. When Dawn doesn't go with me, I put food all the way. I don't even see my mirrors. I put food, because I don't like to leave anything behind. Sometimes I have to leave food behind, so I have to look to see what I'm going to leave behind.
We should put that on the link if people want to start donating some of their time.
Yeah. So all we need to do is go over there, put the food in your car, and you know exactly the shelter that you go, and you take it over there, and that's it. So, and they're so grateful, and they help me more than I help them. When I go over there, I was like, okay, now my Saturday can start.
Oh, wow.
And Don is now going with me every single Saturday without me asking.
And you've introduced your son to that too.
Yeah. He goes with Don when I can't do it. I think they did that Saturday. That we went.
Because we went. The reason I found out about this is because we went to the Real Housewives Fan Fest, but it was on Saturday.
Yeah.
And she was like, I need to find coverage for. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Because I was going to leave and go and then come back.
And that's when I found out that she does this every Saturday. And I just find that fascinating because usually Saturdays are your day of rest.
Right.
Or you catch up with the things. But like you...
Especially because you own your own business.
Yeah.
And
you've made this a part of your lifestyle.
Correct.
And not a lot of people do that. You know, so I commend you for that. It is inspiring. Absolutely. Inspiring. You know, so now that we're coming towards recapping the show, and I think all of us want to thank you for sharing your story and your
Thank you so much.
and being so open.
Did I talk too much? Tell Leo that I don't talk too much.
Oh no! In this case, we wanted you to talk. We
appreciate
tell your story, which you did.
What's your favorite quote? Like, what's something that you want to put out into the world? What's something that you believe in, quote wise?
Well, did you read books like to help you create your business, or to help you get started, or to inspire you? Any of those like type of things?
No.
Okay.
I read books about the Bible. I read books about stories of.
Okay.
The last one that I read was the one that's from the lady from Fox News. She wrote all about many different stories of faith, like some guy somewhere in Somalia,
like an inspiration.
Faith Still Moves Mountains. Faith Still Moves Mountains.
Still Move Mountains.
Okay, by Harris Faulkner.
What is it called again?
Harris Faulkner.
Faith Still Moves Mountains. A national best-selling author. Miraculous stories of the healing power of prayer.
Wow.
Okay, let's look into that. I have it. I can give it to you.
And you feel like it's amazing? Like it's impacted you?
I love it. I love the stories. You think like...
So with that said, I know you read these stories, but what are some of like quotes? I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there something that you believe in, like something that you try to tell yourself all the time to...
Well, I learned that when your path changes it, you have to create a new one. You have to be resilient. That's your superpower.
Okay.
That's my word. Resilience.
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 Well, yeah. Well, we just had our show.
Every time I hear resilience, I think they're calling out somebody Brazilian. It's like, is he Brazilian? And then they go, no, it's resilience. I was, the words are so similar. She's resilient. Oh, she's from Brazil. She's Brazilian. You know.
But you are to being able to overcome and rise above like all the changes that happened throughout your life, especially being a mom and having kids. Like you rose above all those obstacles. That's resilience.
Yeah.
It takes resilience to get through that.
Yeah.
And I think I teach my kids a lot. Everything that I went through, especially my oldest one, Kyle always said, Mom, just something that I can do to help you. Can I work with you? You know, because he loves it.
That's nice.
That's wonderful.
You have, and I know your boys, they're wonderful.
And they learn more. You can yell and scream all day long. It's not going to get in their head. They learn for what they see.
Watching.
Yeah.
So I want to end this by promoting a little bit of your business. What is the name of your business?
The name of my business, it's used to be Global Quality Insurance.
Okay.
Now it's called Riverway Insurance because I have a partner. Her name is Fabiana. She's Brazilian too, but she's very shy. So I'm the one that...
You're the social media girl.
Yeah. So we balance each other.
Okay. And where's your business located?
Here, she lives in Vero Beach.
Okay.
But most of our business are here in Florida. We have, now we're working together. She's working with Central Florida and I'm dealing with South Florida. And we have like a group of agents working for us. And little by little, we're building our agency and we're spreading around. We decided to join together because, you know, I like to be out there and promoting, and she likes the paperwork. She likes
That's a good balance.
She likes to do the part that I don't like it. So we work and good together.
What are all the types of insurance that you offer?
We have travel insurance. So if you go out of the country, don't forget to call us.
That's what I was thinking about. Travel
insurance. When you have
And it's so affordable.
Especially for people that live here in the U.S. because I always have insurance. A lot of people, you know, Brazilians, they always have people coming. Oh, my mom, my dad are coming from Brazil, my sister, my brother. You can have family coming from Ecuador, for Colombia. We have insurance for people all over the world. Doesn't matter where you are or if you're going to stay here a long time. There are people that come here with different visas and they cannot have local insurance yet. They come here with working visa, investor's visa, student visa, because they go to a college. We have those specialty insurance. We have the international insurance, people that has a little bit of more money and they don't have any subsidy from the government. So they have to buy in the local full price. They buy international because they can do their checkups, the surgeries, everything in their home country. Brazil, Colombia, a lot of people, Brazil and Colombia, they have very good doctors. So Brazilians especially, they like to go to Brazil and do the checkup there. So we have plans for that. So anything you need, if we don't have, we're going to find somebody that has it. But usually we have it.
And do you want to share your telephone number?
Sure. 305-343-4542, 305-343-4542, 305-343-4542.
Good job. And your Instagram?
Riverway Solutions.
Riverway Solutions. Well, Sabrina, on behalf of Red Lips, we want to thank you for being such a fabulous guest.
Thank you. Thank you
so much. Thank you for being here with us.
And there's a quote
sharing your
here
story
that we want to read to you that says, "Don't ever make decisions based on fear. Make decisions based on hope and possibility." Michelle Obama. I know you don't like her too much, sorry, but that was a really good quote. Look at her face. That's why I did it. It was a good one. Go ahead and eat your chocolate.
I forgot everything you said before that.
Thank you, Sabrina, on behalf of Red Lips.
Thank you.
It was so
having
fun.
you. Yes. Thank you. A lot of fun. God bless you guys and hasta la próxima.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode.
We will be dropping an episode every 2 weeks. Oh, yeah. No, like seriously. Subscribe now.
So just chill to the next episode. Follow us on Insta and TikTok.